Hello there. Check this out. How are you doing? This is for all the guys out there who are listening to their parents, regardless of if they agree or not. And this is specifically for guys. I don't know if the girls feel the same about this, because I think most of the guys can agree with me on this one. As you grow up, as you hit your 20s, you start really having some ideas. Ideas pop in your head. You get inspired to the things. You get to feel some need that you want to change something about a specific part of your life, or maybe just totally just recalibrate and do something totally different with your life. And when you get these inspirations, when you get these ideas, a lot of people around you, especially your close family members, your father, your mother, especially your mother, she's gonna be like, you are nuts. You are going to become a failure. Maybe she won't say it directly, but you will sense in her way of talking that she's really like, son, this is not for you. Like, go get a safe job, put some money in the 401k. Make sure you get a mortgage, like an 800 years mortgage, and try to get a wife and just chill. There's no need for this craziness. There's no need for you to go out there and actually do something. No, why? You can just become a slave of the system. You can get a 9 to 5 and do it for like 50 years, probably more, because by the age of 60, there's gonna be no pensions anymore. Believe me, like I can easily predict that. You can just look at the average age, and you can easily see that in like 40 years, probably even earlier than that, there will be no pensions anymore, no pension funds. Whatever, we're not gonna go off topic. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of close people around you that know you pretty well, or they think they know you pretty well, they will disagree with your crazy takes, with your future decisions that you're willing to make. And that might get into your head pretty quickly, and you might start to doubt yourself. But you gotta stop walking on eggshells. You're a man, you're here with a purpose, you're here for a reason, so you might as well try to go for it. I just don't get it. Like, why would you be miserable for decades just to get by financially? Like, you go and do something you probably don't like for a very long period of time, 5 times a week, 8 hours at a time. You come back home drained, not having energy to spend with your kids if you have them. And then you save like $150 per month to at the end of the year, or whenever you go on vacation somewhere, and then you repeat the cycle over and over again. And you pretty much just stay in the same position you were like 10, 20, 30 years ago. Sure, you will have some promotions over time, but we already know it's very easily verifiable, it's very established by now that your promotion means less inflation for you, but still inflation. So if you get a 3% raise, but in that time, like the inflation is 4% up, you're realistically losing 1% of your buying power. So why would you go down that route? Why would you choose to do something you don't like just because you've been told so? If you have this gut feeling, if you feel something deep inside of you that you want to do something else, but that something else is risky, or there's no guarantee about it, I think you should still do it. Because the reward for working an average job for your whole life is not there. There is no reward. That's what I'm trying to put into your head, because there is no reward waiting for you at the end. You're not gonna be a millionaire in your 60s. That time is gone. Like, you did not start working in the 70s to become a millionaire in the 2010s when you're about to go to pension. That is not gonna happen for you. And that is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, you're working against a force that is taking more from you than giving to you. So you're trading more value than you're receiving for the time to come. So basically you're feeding the system that is killing you, but you still go for it because you were told to not do what you felt was right for you. Guys, you're a man. You're a guy who has energy, who has power, who feels in his bones that there is some purpose waiting for him on the other side if he just quits this bullshit right now. You have fucking balls. You have two balls here. You have testosterone running through your veins all the time. Like, why would you settle for something that is less if you feel that you can go and try to get something bigger? I'm not trying to say to you to hustle your whole life to become a billionaire or whatever, because that's a very unrealistic thing. And I think most people don't even care about the money that much. They care about what money gives, and that's like some kind of stability, some prosperity, some safety net, and so on. But I think it is very stupid to go on through the safe route and to just follow what every second Joe in the world is doing right now. It's not gonna get rewarded at the end of the day. Believe me, it is not gonna get rewarded. The water is here. I started having this feeling like some time back, but at the beginning, I thought I'm just delusional. And whenever I was talking to some close friends, which were more understanding, but especially when I was talking with my parents and some older people, they were like, "Ah, kid, you're gonna grow up. You're gonna see how different and how harsh the world is." But I was like, "Sure, man, give it to me. Like, I want to see the world being harsh to me right now. I want to experience the harshness. I want to experience that battle, that fight, that challenge, because I'm ready for it, man. I don't care if I'm gonna fail. I don't care if nothing works out. I don't care if I become homeless one day, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep doing it because there is no other way around it. That's the whole point. There is no other route, sorry, that's gonna lead to a to a big reward that is gonna be without a risk. Every route you can take that leads to a higher reward at the end, or that leads to something reasonable at the end, involves some risk. Some more, some less. It depends on where you go to, or through which route you go to. But they all have some risk. And if you want no risk, then you cannot expect a reward. If you go right now to any casino in the world and you sit on the roulette, the first thing you have to do is you have to take money out of your pocket and place it somewhere. It's either a number, it's red, it's green, it's black. Wherever you place it, you're first putting money on the line. And if you hit a red, for example, you're gonna double the money, right? But the initial thing is that you first have to put money on the line. That's the same with how life goes. If you never wanna risk, you're never gonna win. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no safe route anymore for Gen Z, for Gen Alpha, even for the millennials. There is no safe route where you work your easy job and then at the end you're rewarded with owning your place and just being chill in life and owning a villa somewhere in the forest. That is like gone. These, like, if you live in the West, I don't know where you live, but if you live in the West, I'm specifically talking about Europe where I live, and probably the US and Canada and maybe like Australia. If you are somewhere there, you are realistically never going to own something for yourself before the age of 55, maybe 60. If you start now, like if you start saving up right now and in like 5 years time you get a mortgage, you'll probably be like 60 something before you own it. But if when you're like 63 years old, bro, it's all gone. Like the best time of your life is gone and you spend it doing some miserable shit that you hated in the process to own now this small house for 3 people or 4 people. I don't say that it's bad. I think there will always be people that just are going to be the average. I mean, that is how it works. For the bell curve to form, there have to be average people. So I don't think that being average is bad. I would even want to be an average person if being an average person was actually rewarded. If the average person actually had had it good, but it's not the case. The middle class is pretty much disappearing. It's been disappearing for a while, and I think the process is speeding up. So you either are gonna make it or you're just gonna get a random job and kind of pay your bills and rent your apartment and have nothing left. So you're basically a slave. That literally you're basically a slave. That's what I'm going to say directly to you. Is this a way to brainwash yourself, or is this a mindset that praises entitlement and egoism? I don't think so. I think the cards that have been dealt to you are pretty bad. My cards are also not great. So I'm just trying to play a good hand because I have no good cards. I might as well try to play a good hand because, you know, in poker you can get like 2 and 4 different colors. It's pretty hard to beat anybody with that, but you're still gonna try. What else you're gonna do? You're gonna fold? No, of course you're not gonna fold. You know, if the game is rigged, you might as well try to get by somehow because you're not gonna change the world. You're not Martin Luther King. You're not Napoleon. You're not gonna change the world. That's the reality of it. So you might as well try to play the game with on your own terms and try to make it. That is the only way I think. That is that's the only reasonable way for a young person to approach this modern world, this modern hyper consumeristic society. I don't know if that word exists, but that's what I'm trying to say. And if you think that I'm entitled, you might think that whatever. If you think I'm just a schizo, it's all the same to me because I see that working a job just doesn't get you anywhere because I've done it now for 2 years and sure I've saved up some money because I'm still not living alone. But if I had to pay my own rent, bro, I, I would have been broke right now despite working actively for 2 years as a young person who still has no kids, no wife. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm basically supporting only one person, which is me, and I still would not be able to really get by that comfortably, financially speaking. What happens if you have like 2 or 3 children? Like, bro, you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. So that's why people have no kids. Sure, there are some other segments to it, some other influences that play a part in the reason that people have less kids, but I think one of the biggest ones is that it is just not sustainable. It is something that you can't afford yourself to do, to have children, which is crazy. Like, we live in a world where having kids is unsustainable and almost unreasonable from so many perspectives, especially from financial perspective. And that is just mind-blowing to me. It doesn't make any sense. What kind of society are we then? Like, it's weird. It's very weird. So I'm gonna leave you here. Think about what I just said. You might agree, you might not. But I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I might fuck up. Who the fuck cares? I mean, we're here for a brief period of time. Things can go our way. Things might not go our way. Like, I have nothing to lose. I don't feel like I have something to lose. Maybe I'll have that feeling later on, but right now I just feel like all cards are out there and I have a chance. I think I'm going against the odds, sure, but still, if there is a chance, there is a chance. Be good. I love you all.